Okay, guys, we're loosing the revelation of the four captains, the Lord of Hosts army. This is very exciting, and I'm very excited to share all these things with you. And hopefully, let's see, can we get this in the video? Yeah, we can see it a little bit. All right, guys, what we're talking about is something extraordinary happened on the 24th day of the 11th month. And let's get right into it. Without further ado, I'm doing a quick message just announcing this. I'm going through the verses very quickly. I'll have other links and other information to follow, I promise. But from here, we're talking about Zechariah chapter 1. I saw upon the 24th day of the 11th month, which is the month of Sebat. Sebat means rod. Sebat also means tribe. Okay? So the rod is being released, the rod of iron to the man-child. And we're going to tell you about the four captains. You know about the two witnesses? You probably don't know about the four captains. So, we can see them in Zechariah chapter 1. I saw by night, behold, a man riding upon a red horse. And he stood among the myrtle trees. Okay, we have a man on a red horse, and we have myrtle trees. Myrtle trees in Hebrew is Hadassah. Hadassah is Esther's Hebrew name. Okay? And they were in the ravine. Behind them there were red horses and speckled and white. And I said, Lord, who are these? Well, later on we can see in Zechariah chapter 1 verse 18, I lifted up my eyes and behold, I saw four horns. Okay? And the Lord, verse 20, showed me four carpenters. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, this means we have to go to Revelation chapter 9. Revelation chapter 9, we can clearly see what the symbolism of what we're looking at here in Zechariah 1. And when the sixth angel sounded, I heard a voice from the four horns. We saw the four horns in Zechariah. Clearly they're here, Revelation 9. The golden altar which is before God, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, okay, we're going to show you the second, which is the trumpet, the sixth trumpet, and he sounded and he said, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Now this is what we're doing. We are releasing the four captives, releasing the four of the Lord of Hosts. And four angels were loosed, which were bound for an hour, for a day, for a month, and a year. Okay? Now, in English, it says for a. But in Greek, it's really what this is saying. If you read the direct Greek, it would sound like this. Which are prepared hour, day, month, year. Okay? Now, what do we have? Zechariah chapter 1. We have the year, Darius. Okay? So this is the 24th day of the 11th month. We told you the two witnesses started the 24th day of the 9th month, which is in Haggai chapter 2. I'll put a link in the description field for the video of that. But here we're talking about the great army. The great army is led by four captains. Okay? And we're loosing this revelation. We'll have a lot more on this, guys, but the year is Darius. The month is 11, Sebat, rod of iron. And the day, 24, precisely 2 months after the two witnesses. Okay? And now what it says is, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Okay? Now, this might sound like, you have angels bound in the great river Euphrates, but what we're actually looking at is this. Because it's not angels that are bound in a river, okay? What's happening is revelation is bound and is being released, okay? So the way you interpret Scripture, guys, is you must find the symbology. You must find the type and shadow elsewhere in Scripture. In this example, it is clearly in Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51. And let's look at a couple verses here. Let's look at verse 60. Jeremiah wrote a book of all the evil that should come upon Babylon. Okay? So Jeremiah writes a scroll. Alright? He writes a book of all the evil. Then verse 63. And it shall be, when you have made an end of reading the book, Okay, so he wrote the book, and then the scribe read the book, okay, that you will bind a stone. You can see here, we have a stone, and cast it in the midst of the Euphrates. So guys, it's not angels that are bound in the Euphrates, it's the scroll. Okay? And cast it in the midst of Euphrates. And you shall say, thus shall Babylon sink and not rise from all the evil that I'll bring upon her. So the symbolism is there's a stone. The stone is attached to a scroll, and the scroll is thrown into the river Euphrates. Okay? Now what happens in Revelation it says, loose. Okay, so that means that the scroll must be received, and you must loose. You must open the scroll. Okay, so we're opening the scroll. We're removing the seal. The stone, it was bound to the scroll. It was in the river Euphrates. Okay, now what we're doing is we're opening the scroll. We're reading the scroll. Okay, this is the scroll of the four captains. Okay, of the Lord of hosts army. That's what we're doing, guys. We're releasing this revelation. Now, let's keep going. We're also going to go over more symbology of who this is. You know, they're four horns. Okay, they're four captains. The captains are building the house. Okay, they're measuring the temple. These are all these things I've been telling you. I've been telling you about war. I've been telling you about measuring the temple. Okay, assembling the people, assembling the armies. Now, let's go back to Zechariah, and let's go to Zechariah chapter 10. Zechariah chapter 10. Verse 3, okay, the Lord of hosts visited his flock, the house of Judah. Okay, the principal tribe is Judah. Judah goes first. And he has made them a godly horse in the battle. Okay, there's a battle going on, guys. That's what we're trying to tell you. I'm going to have so much exciting things to share with you. Amazing. Out of him came forth the corner. Okay, out of him came forth the nail. Okay, out of him came forth the battle bow, and out of him came forth the oppressor or the taskmaster. So these are things that you can clearly see on the four horse riders, okay, in the first four seals, okay. And it says clearly, these shall be mighty men which shall tread down their enemies in the midst of the streets of the battle and shall fight, because the Lord is with them, riders on horses. Okay, so what we have is a corner. If you are a carpenter, you always have a square. You always measure everything with a square. That's the corner. But the corner is also scales. So the one on the black horse holds scales. Okay? There's the nail. Okay? When you're a carpenter, you have a nail. Right? The nail is the key to the house of David. It's also the sword. You can see this one is red. That's the red horse. Okay? And out of him the battle bow. That's the white horse. And the oppressor. That's the pale horse. So these are angels in the first four seals, but they're also four carpenters, which we saw clearly in Zechariah chapter 1. So what do we have? We have four horns of the altar, right? We have four carpenters. We have four horse riders. We have four captains, okay? Now, they were prepared for a year, a month, a day, and an hour. And that year is Darius, okay? Because in Zechariah 1, it gives us the counting of this, okay? I'm not going to read the whole thing. Well, let me read some of it. The angel, then they answered the angel of the Lord that stood in the midst of the myrtle trees. So there's an angel in the myrtle trees. We have walked to and fro throughout the whole earth. Behold, the earth sits still. The whole earth is still. This is a type of the half hour of silence, okay? And the whole earth is still and is at rest. And the angel of the Lord answered and said, O Lord of hosts, how long will you not have mercy on Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, which you have had indignation these 70 years? Now these 70 years is Cyrus' decree. After 70 years is Cyrus' decree, and I have a message on Cyrus' decree, okay? But what did he had indignation these 70 years. Now these are the same thing. The four horns, and I said unto the angel, who are these four horns? He said, these are the horns which have scattered Judah and Israel and Jerusalem. Okay? So this is the indignation the Lord has had these 70 years. When the 70 years are up, the four captains are loosed for a time and a season. Okay? Now, as we told you in the scroll, in Jeremiah, okay, they're in the scroll. They're in the book. They're in Jeremiah 51. Just like it says in Jeremiah 51, throw the scroll in the river Euphrates. We can find it in Jeremiah 51:26. And they took from me a stone and a corner. So we have a stone, right? And a corner. Nor a cornerstone for the foundation that shall be desolate forever, says the Lord. Set up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations. Prepare the nations against her. Who? Babylon. Call together her kingdoms. Arad, Mini, Ashkenaz. Appoint captains against her. Cause the horses. Are you getting all this? We got the 4 horns. We got the 4 captains. We got the 4 carpenters. Glory to his name. The kingdom of heaven is coming together under the Lord of hosts, both man and angel. Glory to his name. All right, the horses are come up through the caterpillars. Now we're going to go over, I'm going to have many messages on the caterpillars, the locust army. That's the 5th trumpet, okay? Prepare against the nations, the kings of the Medes. That's number 4. So we have Arad, Mini, Ashkenaz. Okay, these are types of the kingdoms or kings. Okay, and the king of Mede, the Medes or Mede. So there are the 4 captains. Okay, and it says clearly here, the captains thereof and all the rulers thereof of all the land and the dominion. And the land shall tremble of sorrow, and every purpose of the Lord shall be performed. Every purpose of the Lord shall be performed. So we are releasing the revelation of the scroll of the 4 captains of the Lord of hosts army. They were bound in the river Euphrates. Okay, they were bound with the stone. The stone was cast into the river. Now we're releasing the scroll. Okay, they're going forth. Okay, we're going to ask the Lord for them. They are 4 captains. They are 4 carpenters. They're building remember the plummet is in the line, is in the hand of Zerubbabel. Okay, so like the 2 witnesses, they're building the Lord's house. Okay, so we should ask the Lord where they are. The trumpet is being blown. They're prepared for such an hour. Now is the time. So guys, thanks for watching. Please watch the videos and the links in the description field. This is not new information. The only thing I'm doing is declaring the day and the hour. Okay, or the day and the month, which we have in Zechariah chapter 1. So get ready. The trumpet's going to sound, or the trumpet has sound, and we're going to have a lot more, guys. There's going to be a series of messages I'm going to do that are a little bit shorter, just to give you an idea of how this war works. Okay, we'll have some more soon. God bless you.